Hello, people. How's it going? Oh, the picture looks nice. You need a degree to teach history on YouTube, particularly on YouTube. I've been watching lately the pros and cons of some people's opinion of whether you should be allowed to teach history without a degree. I don't have a degree. I don't have one. I do have a lot of books, and I have taken a lot of classes, and I have belonged to history group meetings, but I don't have a degree. Despite what the cup says. Despite what the cup may say, I don't actually have a degree. I do like the cup. But do you need a degree really to teach history? Well, yeah, I mean, having one's nice. I mean, having a degree would be a nice thing to have. But I don't think you need one, particularly on YouTube. In a school, yes. In a college setting, yes. But YouTube, not so much. It's nice to have. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have. But I don't think you need one to sit here and talk about history, talk about subjects you enjoy, talk about the parts of history you enjoy, talking about the people, the events, the moments, the whatevers of history that you enjoy. Now, granted, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to be willing to accept criticism when it comes. You need to be able to do your research. You need to do a lot of studying, which I have done. But I'm not. I don't have a degree. But I do like history. I like teaching it. I like talking about it. I like mostly writing it. I really do need to do better on my history YouTube channel. On this part of it, anyway. My part of my problem is I don't want to write it all down and sit and read it. I just find that just kind of distracting. But I probably should do it anyway, or at least figure out a way to do it. But I don't think you need a degree in history to teach it on YouTube. Yes, you need to know what you're talking about. That always helps. Generally does help to know what you're talking about on YouTube. You need to take criticism. You need to be able to give it out, give it as much as you take, or take as much as you give. You need to know what you're talking about. I know I keep saying that for a reason because I sometimes watch some YouTube channels and I'm not really sure the person understands history or its value or its importance. It's just not just naming people, naming places, and naming events. History is fascinating. History is the study of human nature, human psychology, all aspects of being human. It's a wonderful, wonderful, chaotic mess to study people. We are a chaotically messy species on this planet. But I don't think you need a degree to teach history. Now, it's useful to have one. I took a lot of history classes at Century College. I don't have a degree, unfortunately. I ran out of money. I also got to the point where I realized that really a degree really doesn't make you a good teacher. It may tell you what you know, it may tell you how much you know, it may tell you a lot of things. But teaching is just sitting, is talking, is trying, if you can get the point across, that's what I'm trying to say. If you can get the point across about what the subject is, you can make a good teacher. A degree does not make you a good teacher. It just means that you know a lot, in my mind. I mean, there are some YouTubers who don't like YouTubers doing history, and there are some YouTubers who enjoy it. I mean, there are good YouTube channels out there on history that do very good history. There are some very better ones, far better than mine, far more articulate than mine, and can do a lot more better graphics than mine. But I just think that to be a good teacher, just talk about something you enjoy. That's what history's all about anyway. That's how you get people to enjoy what you like as a historian. I mean, history to me is just this amazing, monstrously complex but simple sometimes story of us. People people are interesting. Even people going about their daily lives are interesting. At least I think so. And then again, that's the writer in me more than the historian in me. But mean, do I wish I had a degree? Sure, it would be nice, but I've learned more from reading the books I like to read than I do anything else other than a degree. I liked being in college. I liked the classes. I enjoyed the classes. I liked classes very much in college, and I was in them, and I got a lot out of them. But they didn't teach me one valuable lesson. They didn't teach me how to be a good teacher. To be a good teacher, you have to sit here or stand in front of a class and talk for about 50 minutes and know exactly what you're talking about and not hemming and hawing and not sputtering and not repeating yourself like a certain person I know, Mr. Sigler, because I do that terribly. I am terrible. I know I am. I am very bad at repeating myself. I really am. But I think that'd be a good teacher of history on YouTube. You gotta know what you're talking about. You gotta make it interesting. And I've had 3 people so far show up on the screen up there. Up there. I always forget that when I'm looking this way, it's reversed. And that's when I do this. I'm actually doing my left hand. But anyway, but I find a lot of YouTube channels very informative, very well done, far more better done than mine. I do strive to do better. I really do. I always hesitate to write my notes down because I really do not like sitting there reading notes. I just think it's just I don't know what it is. I know it's stupid, but it's something I just cannot get myself to convince myself that's that's a good way to teach. It's probably stupid. I probably should do it that way, and I don't do it that way. I try to do things out of the top of my head. I try to do things remembering events, and I'm obviously not good at it. So I may start writing. I mean, we just had the 81st anniversary of D-Day. We just had Midway's anniversary, the Six-Day War anniversary we've just had. I'm missing one. I'm sure I'm missing one. I mean, history is fascinating. And I really do want to teach history. I like teaching history. I'm not good at it because just, I'm not good at it. And I wish I would. Well, I really wish people would. I wish those people come back on. I will not to say. I need feedback. I really wish people would give me feedback on what they would like me to teach via history. I, I'm a YouTube channel that needs feedback. I like having feedback. I like people telling me you can do this, you can do that, talk about this subject, talk about that subject, this is something in history I'd like to know about. My YouTube channel always seems to be a work in progress. It just is. I wish I were a little more interesting. I'm not an interesting teacher. I'm a far better writer than a teacher. I mean, I've often thought that I should just write down for my blog site something and then just read what I've written, which I have tried to do. That might actually be a better idea. Just go to write something, put it on my blog site, and then read it from there. I don't know. I don't know what it is about just sitting there reading something while looking down and not at the screen. I don't know. For some reason, something about it just seems rude to me, and I know that sounds weird. It sounds dumb. I am trying to make this part of my YouTube channel work. This is a constant work in progress. I know a person who keeps coming back. I'm pretty sure you're the same person. But anyway, if you have any questions, you can ask me. I will probably answer them. I'm going to stop it in about a minute or so. Anyway, some books on history, or at least what is history, or the study of history. This is a pretty good book. These are all classics, right? These are old books. These are much older books than I am. This is a pretty good book. This is a very good book. This is a good book on history writing and research and study. And that one was very good. Essays on history writing and the meaning of history. Another very good one. Home. That's where I'm going to find it. I am going to try to do a few different things on this part of my history channel, my YouTube channel. I know that I'm not the most interesting guy to listen to talk. I'm aware of this. If you would ever meet me, if you got 7 sentences out of me in an entire conversation, you're doing pretty good. I'm not a talker. I'm not a talker. I'm just not. I'm a writer. I like writing. And yes, if I like writing, what I should do is write these things down in my blog site. That way it's all taken care of and just sit there and read it. I'm going to try that with my next video on the history subject. I'm going to try to read something I wrote a while back just to see if it works, see if it gets people to watch more. I'm not a talker, people. I'm a writer. I admit it. I'm not. If you ever have a conversation with me, as I've said, if you get 7 sentences out of me, you're doing pretty good. I can be quiet all day long. Which is probably why when I do these videos, I come across as being a little scatterbrained and a little hesitant. A lot of problems. One of which is I'm staring at myself talking. I don't know how people do this without being self-conscious of the fact that you're talking to yourself until other people watch it. And I'm staring at myself. And I need to shave bad. Grief. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. I don't take myself seriously. I really don't. I know my faults. I know my faults when it comes to writing. And I know my faults when it comes to talking on the YouTube channel. And I know the problems that my YouTube channel has with volume. And the equipment I have is the equipment I have, and I appreciate the 5 people who are watching right now. Hope you're having a good day. It's hot here in the land of the frozen north. First state to volunteer for the American Civil War, and if you know what that is, you know where I am. Ah, yes. Oh, 4 people disappeared. Anyway, I don't take my YouTube channel seriously. I think that's part of the other thing is I don't take it personally or seriously. I just try to have fun. I just try to teach something that I like. I try my best. I probably should write stuff down. I probably should do all that stuff. It's probably laziness on my part. And I do appreciate people who muddle through my babblings, hoping I'm going to make sense of something. I don't take this seriously. YouTube doesn't pay me anything. I'm not going to take it seriously. And I'm not going to take me personally or seriously. I know me. And yes, I am drinking chocolate milk. I like chocolate milk. Hello, two people. Anyway, I'm going to try to do a few things differently. The next time I do a historian's life YouTube video, um, I'm going to do another video in about an hour or so, so I might do something that might be a different subject. But anyway, thank you for watching, all 2 of you who are still here. Oh, it's nice and sunny outside here in the land of the frozen north. Well, it takes the middle of North America forever to warm up. Anyway, sorry. I'm easily distracted by pretty much anything. Anyway, behave yourselves, people, because you know I'm not going to. Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, so on and so forth. Thank you for the 2 people who have hung on this long. Safe or safe? I'm gay. Well, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not gay. I'm a heterosexual male. I love redheads. I adore redheads. That'll be another story. And Asian girls. Also redheads. Sorry, I'm not gay. long story on that subject. Later. No bother. I'm game, not you. Well, that is true. That is true. You are welcome, sir. Or madam. Well, he's the guy. Sorry. You're welcome. Glad you listened this long to my endless ramblings. Alright, I'm gonna clock out. I'll be back in about an hour with a different video. You, sir, have a good day. Stay out of trouble, because I'm not going to. I do not know how. Later. You too. I will try.